You might not know a lot about it, but ancient Chinese philosophy has a lot to say about how we might improve our lives. So often here in the West, we're really fixated on more Western philosophies such as Stoicism. I've done previous videos on Stoic related topics and I absolutely love it. But today I'd like to introduce something different. I want to talk about the philosophy of Daoism. And for those who are not familiar with this before, it reads as Daoism, although it looks like Taoism. I just want to answer that question right out of the bat so there aren't a lot of comments. I won't linger too much on philosophical explanations, but I really want to focus on the principle of Wu Wei. Wu Wei translates literally to non-doing or inaction, and it is a really core principle at the heart of Daoism. However, I really believe it's better phrased as saying it is the action of non-action. So in short, Daoism fixates on following the Tao, which is literally the way or the path. And Wu Wei is the practice of staying in line with that, staying in line with the Tao. Even from within the philosophy, the Tao itself is really hard to define, but we can say it's the natural drift or even flow of nature. So what exactly is Wu Wei? And how do we really define and explain this almost paradoxical concept of the action of non-action? From my readings, I've really seen a common theme in Daoism of comparing humans to water as a means of explanation. So humans have ought to be like water. They've got to be flexible and obedient, yet at times they've got to have great strength and hardness to overcome things. And the important bit is how this is done. This is done through the tactical submission to the laws of nature. Just like water, humans must act accordingly with nature's suggestion and the natural flow, deciding when to act and when to not act. In my opinion, the really best example of this principle of action of non-action came from Alan Watts, who was a British writer that introduced Eastern philosophies and religions into the West. How he compared this is by taking the example of rowing and sailing. If we look at rowing, it's a lot of effort for very little reward. It takes high energy and strain to move against currents. By contrast, sailing skillfully uses the forces of nature to move and maneuver. By this principle, we should learn to recognize when effort is wasted or useful. For example, if you're a writer and you're really feeling uninspired, like you feel like you're just not going to write the best work, it's probably best to not write that next chapter. It's better instead to do an activity or to put your energy towards something that's going to lead to more inspiration, something that's going to lead you to the better natural state in which you will be to write that article or to write that next chapter of your book. And as a result, by not acting on what you should or what you feel you should do, you're actually benefiting yourself. You're adapting to the natural state that you felt that you were. However, I really understand and believe that that is often not actually the best plan of action. Sometimes it's better to push through the tiredness. If we all felt tired in the morning and stayed in bed every day, no one would go to work. And we really wouldn't get anything done that we wanted to. But from what I've read, Daoism really recognizes this too. And that really is, in essence, the principle of Wu Wei, or at least one aspect of it. It's not fighting against the natural state of things, not to an extent where you're really going to burn out and do damage to yourself. The second aspect is coming up, but I just want to really quickly say thank you to my first 100 subscribers. I really didn't expect to gain them this fast. And I want to say if you're new as well, I'd really love it if you can subscribe and stick around too. I didn't expect to build a kind of community this fast, and yeah, all of you are amazing. Thank you so much. So at its core, Wu Wei is about being authentic to yourself and accepting and embracing nature and the natural flow of things. This more personal aspect of things involves not rejecting the emotions that you feel. And we all really know this feeling. If you lose a loved one or a relationship and you feel this awful feeling of grief and sadness and you just want it to go away. And with the principle of Wu Wei, what it actually says is that you should embrace those feelings. You should live as real in them as you can and experience them fully. Do not run away, do not hide them, just embrace them and live them. And this also ties back again to the comparison with water. So these emotions and feelings flow through you like water. And in order to resist them, it's like paddling against that current. It's really going to burn you out, it's going to stunt your progress, and ultimately it's not going to help you get over those things. So I really hope this concept is a lot more clear. It's really this concept of flow, this art of letting go, and not all the time. Don't become some kind of like a passive person, or take these this philosophy as a means of procrastinating or not doing something because you don't feel like it. It's the art of choice. It's the art of choosing when to let go, choosing when you need to sort of let life just pass by. Or better than saying pass by, more like to go with life, to go with the flow of life. Because sometimes, in certain scenarios, the act of choosing not to act is in itself the greatest form of control. And of course, as always, I don't think any given philosophy or idea is a great prescription for all of life. But what I do think is that this principle and these ideas can be used tactically throughout each and every one of our lives. We all have times in life where we really need to listen to ourselves, or we really need to let go of something. And these principles of Taoism really help to understand that. Personally, to me, in times of distress, when things seem to be going wrong, I really find this concept of flow quite comforting to think about. It's this idea that, the universe is just flowing, everything is going, and you can't stop it. Regardless of what you do, everything is always going to continue. I would love to hear what you guys think about this philosophy, and any thoughts that you have about it in the comments below. I really enjoy discussing and messaging back and forth in the comment section, so really please keep at it. So as always, if you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate it if you left a like, and if you're new to the channel, why not subscribe and stick around, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I love you all.